Hi, everyone. This is Marty from Statewide Interlock, the exclusive distributor of the alcohol detection systems products and services. Alcohol Detection Systems is a United States company located in Baltimore, Maryland. Statewide Interlock Systems is a distribution company located in Albany, New York. We distribute products and services for ADS throughout the Northeast. Today, I decided to make this video to try to help clarify some of the big issues about what is called a false positive in the ignition interlock business. Now, a false positive means that when a device registers positive, it's not really because there is, in our case, in the case of an ignition interlock, that, that there's not really alcohol. So this needs a little bit of unpacking here because what happens in the ignition interlock industry is people provide samples, an individual provides a sample, and they haven't had any drinks. They haven't had any beer or wine or cerveza or tequila or any alcoholic beverage, right? But later on, we find out that they may have had a chocolate covered cherry with some alcoholic filling. Okay. Or they may have had a cup of coffee with a hazelnut cream or additive. And we later find out, we're not chemists, but we find out by reading labels and Googling these issues that the hazelnut creamer has a food flavoring in it, which has a base of ethanol or alcohol. Now, same with the cherry, the liquor filled cherry. This isn't enough to get you inebriated or to give you a blood alcohol content which is off the charts. But when we're talking about an ignition interlock, we're talking about the measurement of breath alcohol content. Breath alcohol content emanates from your mouth. The mouth cavity is where you're getting the reading from. Now, the device is designed to take a sample for 1.5 liters of air. The idea is to get the air from your lower lungs. This is where the deep lung alveolar lung sample. Think of alveoli as maybe like a couple of small bunches of Pinot Noir grapes at the bottom of your lungs, and that's where the magic takes place. And the oxygen that you bring in is substituted for the carbon monoxide and the other uh, substances that are carried to the lungs for elimination through the blood system. They pass through the liver. That's where you get your uh, that's how you eliminate alcohol from your system, one of the ways, anyway. So, um, let's pause for a second and think about where we are. We're talking about the misnomer of false positives in the ignition interlock context. So, what do you get? What causes a false positive? I've been in the industry for a long time. I hear a lot of different anecdotes. I hear about Old Spice cologne filling the cabin of the car. I hear about hand sanitizer, which gets close to the unit. I hear about windshield wiper fluid, which has an ethanol base in it, which, one time we actually did a bit of a test. It wasn't a lab test, but we did a test, and the fella saturated. It was in the springtime, and there was an awful lot of pollen, and he saturated his windshield with wiper fluid a couple times for maybe 5 minutes. He went through quite a bit of fluid. And what had happened is there was an overwhelming smell in the cabin, and we were in a state with a low set point, And sure enough, it wouldn't give him a passing sample, all other things being equal. Uh, Opened up the windows, gave it 5 minutes, car aired out. He was able to give a sample, same person. It wasn't a situation where he was drinking and then wasn't drinking, all other things being equal. So now, the best way to understand what I'm talking about is to go to the baked goods section of your local grocery store and check out the McCormick brand food flavorings. You get vanilla bean extract, you get lemon extract, you get hazelnut extract. They have a whole variety of them. And I find that the McCormick brand is the brand that labels the alcohol content of the the food flavoring rather. And this is a really an eye opener when you get to lemon extract. I believe it's close to 90% in that brand is alcohol. So even a couple drops of that right on your tongue before you provide a sample, that's going to set off. It's going to far exceed the .02 set point that we have in Massachusetts, and you'll get a violation. And now you're saying it has nothing to do with my level of impairment. And I know that, and you know that. And in fact, at the registry, they know that. But it's one of the rules they have to follow. They're aware of it. And in that state, you'll actually sign an affidavit saying that you're aware of these alternate forms of alcohol, which will set off the device. And they make you uh, acknowledge that before you're allowed to put an ignition interlock in your car. So, what do we do about avoiding these so called false positives? Well, I happen to like the Poland Spring brand of mineral water, and I would suggest to you that you give it a try. If not that, some other type of mineral water, and I'd keep a 6-pack of that in the car, right on the seat, and before I give a sample, rinse your mouth out. This happens all the time. We do it in the office every day after lunch. Uh, Whether we have a piece of pizza or a submarine sandwich, or we have some extremely good macaroni and cheese, some Kentucky fried chicken, and the guys that handle the lab and the recalibration, they're all the time recalibrating, testing, giving samples, updating our equipment. And in that process, they'll try different substances and we'll see. And we have a list of them. We're going to have another video, or actually a series. I think they're going to call it Will It Fail? It ought to be interesting, and they'll show you some definite examples. And then the real takeaway from that, just to believe me on this, is if you rinse out your mouth and you eliminate that rinse, just about any of these food coloring, food flavoring type issues are eliminated very quickly. It's very ephemeral. It just goes away really quickly. So it doesn't hang with you like the deep alveolar lung sample, which indicates that you, from down in here, you really have it in your blood system pretty comprehensively. Whereas if you have it in your mouth, you may actually blow a sample that makes it look like you're legally dead. I like to say that because it's true. Has nothing to do with your level of impairment. It's something that you can easily avoid. We hope that you do avoid that. We hope that this puts you at ease a little bit. Keep that Poland spring water right there in the side of your, in the passenger seat, and pay attention, and you will be able to breathe easy with alcohol detection systems and the statewide Interlock systems service. Okay, so thank you. Till we meet again.